Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be installing some new lights onto my 2020 VW Crafter. The lights that I'm going for are these. These are Lazer Lamps, the R750s, that's how you pronounce them. This is the second generation version, which comes with a position light and also your main beam light. This video is in collaboration with Venture 4x4 Group Limited. They very kindly supplied these lights to me, and you can check them out, go on their website, details are in the description below. They supply all manner of 4x4 and off-road equipment, not just for vans. Their speciality is Land Rovers, everything from old school Defenders right up to new school Discoveries. But they also do kit for vans and any kind of adventure vehicles. So go check them out, just link in the description box below. So the reason I'm doing this video is because I couldn't really find much on the internet. There's a great video by Aidan at Urban Arc Overland, which I'll tag up here. He does an install on a VW T6, and in terms of the install it's very similar, but I'm just going to go into a little bit more detail around the wiring on this particular one, because it's ever so slightly on this particular van, and I'll show you why in a minute. I'm going to be installing this so that the side lights activate the position light grill, and then the main beam light will activate the full power of the laser lamps, so you've got maximum brightness when the full beams are on. So these, although they are MOT compliant, full EU, TUV, all of that stuff, regulated and compliant, they are kind of really an off-road light, but you can use them on road as well. Let's see how we get these installed onto this. Okay. So to start off with, let's have a look what's in the box. The packaging, I have to say, is pretty slick. When you open the box, you get a nice little information leaflet. You've got really clear installation instructions, warranty information. You've got your E9 EU regulation, get a couple of stickers and all that kind of stuff. So we'll refer to the instructions in a sec. Let's have a quick look. So there are multiple ways of doing this. You can install them so that basically the lights power off a switch, or if you've got the factory LEDs, you will need some sort of CAN bus system to help monitor the voltage signal and adjust it. We're going for side lights and main beams, which you can also switch independently. I'm not going to do that, I just want them on the main beams. And then you can also do other things like have all that, have them on the side, main beams, and then have an independent switch. So it really depends on your setup. The rest of the box, we've got the lights themselves. That's the wiring loom. So these are the laser lamps, really nicely built, absolutely solid. Some cooling fans at the back, mounting bolts right there. You can also, you've got a T-track kind of rail on the bottom, so you could mount them separately. But obviously this kit is designed for the VW Crafter, so it comes with its own mounting kit, which is in this box. I'll show you that in a second. Behind each light is the loom extension. So if you want white, you put the green one in, and if you want amber, you put the brown one in, and they just fill the third slot in there. You actually push them in, click it into place, and you're ready to go. If you wanted to then switch to amber or whatever, you could then you could actually then take them out, put the other one in, or if you didn't want position lights at all, you literally just tuck them down to this little rubber sleeve, close the whole lot up, and you are ready to go. So the only thing we need is power to the lights. You've got a negative there and a positive cable. At the other end of the loom, you've got these that go into the light units themselves. You then also have a relay. Then you have these two spare green and purple cables. Now effectively, these are the triggers. It also comes with some other gubbins, some connectors, and a switch. So if you wanted to switch the light on independently within the cab, you could do it with that. This is effectively the trigger. So there's always power running to the lights from your battery, but the relay prevents the lights from operating until it gets like another signal to activate the lights. That is why we're going to be using both of these cables, because one trigger will be from the side lights, which will be your position light, and the other light will be triggered from the main beam. So that's the loom, there's the lights. We'll go into more detail as we're installing it. We then also have this kit here, which is all the brackets. So we've got the actual mounting brackets themselves, so there should be 4 of them, 2 on each side of the lights, come in nice little bags. And then we've also got, these are just moulds that go onto the grill, they clip on, and you use them to then cut out around the appropriate size hole for then you to fit the lights into the grill. So it's really nice. Tools you're going to need for the job, probably going to need a soldering iron, obviously some solder, some zip ties, screwdriver, drill bit, a multimeter, another screwdriver, heat gun for the street cap, either a multi-tool or you could use just a little handsaw or just a little hacksaw just to be able to cut through the plastic. And that's it. Okay, so the first job you're going to want to do is get your multimeter. And what we need to do is we need to detect which cables, unless you already know, are your side lights and which ones is your main beams. So the simplest way of doing that is putting this on an earth point, unplugging a headlight and just poking, switching the side lights on and putting this into each of the terminal points to see which one gives you a 12 volt signal, and then do the same for the main beam, and then just compare against all the individual connectors, because some will already be live, some will be looking for a signal. So you're looking for something that gives you a signal when you turn the switch or put the main beams on in the dash. So I've already done this and I'll show you. So this is the loom for the headlight. Now I've got Transporter HQ LED headlights, but obviously the CAN bus for those headlights is built into the headlight itself. So the only thing we need to do, these are just standard halogen bulbs. Like I said earlier, if you've got factory fitted LED headlights, you will need some additional CAN bus module, which is available from Lazer Lamps. Okay, I was actually slightly incorrect there. There are actually 3 ways to get these lights to work with your main beams on a Transporter if you've got the Transporter HQ LED headlights with the LED bulbs. The issue is that the LED bulbs on these headlights have their own CAN bus system built in. So effectively what's happening is by adding in the laser lamps, it's confusing the BCM signal, which I did mention earlier. There are actually 3 ways of getting over this. One is that you buy a relay with a diode in it, and then you've got to do some cutting of wires and recabling them from earth to positive, and the signal or the trigger cable. I thought that sounds like a faff, so I'm not going to do that. Although I did buy a relay and then just gave up on that idea. The other option, if you want to keep the LED bulbs, is you can get a CAN bus system. I think it's the Main Beam 3 CAN Connect system, and you can then also get a wireless CAN connector adapter as well, which basically means you don't need to splice any cables, but it does mean that you've got to connect that device to your CAN bus system. That would be useful if you're adding on additional LED lights, so you're adding something to your roof rack, or additional fog lights that you wanted to control from the standard stalk controls and you didn't want additional switches. The third option, which is the option that I went for and by far the cheapest, is to just stick some halogen bulbs in back onto your main beam lights, because ultimately the laser lamps are just going to overpower any projection from those bulbs anyway. So even if they were LEDs, yes, it would be nice aesthetically, but you're talking about 13 quid for some Osram light blue lights versus 130, 160 quid for a CAN bus system. So choice is yours, but they're the options. I went with the bulb. Maybe at some point I'll upgrade to the CAN bus system if I'm going to add on additional lights later on. There we go. So what I did, flick this over to 12 volts. I put this on an earth point and I literally just poked around. And what I found, there are numbers 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Found that number 10, number 8, the side light and the main beam. I remember which one it is. I think 10 is the side light and 8 is the main beam, but I will confirm that. And the other thing you're going to notice here, there's no battery. And that's because on this particular crafter there's only one battery, and that is behind the passenger seat in the floor. From factory you can spec to have another auxiliary battery here, but what we've got instead is this kind of junction box. If I just show you my multimeter, got this little cap here, that comes off, and that is showing 12 volts with a grounding point just there. So for the positive and negative on the laser lamps, we're going to go into this box for the positive and there for the negative. I'll just pull this back. There we go. You'll see there's actually a spare point, and I can just put on my positive, put all that on in a washer, and that will give me my positive signal. So we're all good. There we have it. So positive is tapped into there, and let's put a little washer, and I think it's an M5 nut, and then the earth point for the negative is over there. We've got an inline fuse, which I've just take this off. Just tuck the inline fuse underneath there, and then on this plastic cover, I've cut a little notch out of plastic, and that should just close up nice and neat. All out of the way. So we've got the inline fuse still accessible. That's the positive. We've then also attached the relay. There was a spare open bolt hole there, so we've just screwed onto there. That's nice and secure. And then the cables, the rest of the loom is running here, but we'll sort that out and it'll be nice and neat in there before we tap into this. It's probably worth noting at this point that I'm not an auto electrician. I'm doing this all at my own risk, you know, splicing into looms. This is just the way that I'm doing it. It may not be the way a professional conversion company might do it, or another installer. So take it as your own risk, but use this as guidance if you want. Cables are soldered together and then heat shrink, and then I'll put some more of this this tape just to secure it all, and then sort out all this loom so it's all nice and tidy in there. The next job, we need to cut out the holes in the grill. So very conveniently on these 3D printed moulds, they are labelled 1, 2, 3 and 4 out of 4. And so you start from the left, move to the right, and they should just clip right in, and that gives you your marking point to cut. So I believe they should with these mounts, we're going to do a cut down there, down there, and down there. We also need to cut out a section across the top and a section across the bottom, but I'm going to do it so I'm doing it on the lower edge, so it'll look like they're still part of the whole unit when the light's in. There's no gaps up above and below. Do is to install these mounts. Again, they're labelled. You've got right hand outer board, right hand inboard, and left hand inboard, left hand outboard, and they simply connect onto the lights. You just use the supplied screws and washers, connect them onto the side, clip them into place, and then we use these two screws screw into the little plastic there and there. It's as simple as that really. So there we go, it's the brackets installed onto the light. It's a simple Allen key onto each side. This one's got rotational movement, so you can adjust it, and this one's got forward and backwards movement. I've done them up pretty tight, so there's probably less movement right now, but we can adjust them a little bit later. At the moment I've just got them bang on in the middle. We'll see how that goes. The standard dipped beam on the Transporter HQ headlights, and now laser lamps. It's like daylight. This is amazing. I can see so much. Yeah. Nighttime, daytime. Someone coming. So really happy with the lights. As you can see from that little clip, the way they illuminate the night when you're driving along is unbelievable. Like, it's like driving through daylight. So very happy with that. Thank you again, Venture 4x4 Group, for not only supplying the lights but also the after support. Had a few questions, particularly around how they work with these headlights. Hope you liked this video. If you did, please smash the like button, please subscribe, please follow me for more content. There will be more videos coming as we progress the build on this camper van, turning it into a full off-grid camper. Thank you very much. See you on the next one. Boom!